Hey everyone, how you doing? Dr. Andrew here from Chiropractic. Today we're going to talk about the posterior tilt exercise. Why is that important? Well, oftentimes we'll get a lot of patients with back pain, and oftentimes working from home, especially during this time, sitting for prolonged periods of time causes more compression of the lower back and less activity, so that creates more back problems. One of the best ways to do it is to actually create more flexibility, range of motion, and increase the strength and muscular endurance of that muscle in that lower back region. So oftentimes we'll get patients presenting with this presentation here, where the stomach goes forward, the butt goes back, often seen in women who wear a lot of high heels, and that increases the pressure and stress in that lower back here. So the best way to think about it is you're constantly trying to attain a balance, if you will, between the front muscles and the back muscles of the body. So if they're constantly balanced, your hip is in a neutral posture, which creates the least amount of tension in your body. But if you have imbalance and the heel wearing posture, it increases the load here. So your abs actually get weak, the hamstrings here get overstretched, the tension builds up in your lumbar region here, the paraspinals, the erector spinae, and the tension builds up in your thighs. So that creates a lot of distortion, a lot of imbalance, which creates this problem here. So that's why the posterior pelvic tilt exercise is a great exercise to do. Okay, for this posterior tilt exercise, this is a great way to exercise the lower back to help with the low back pain that people get when you're sitting for too long. So it increases flexion extension of the lumbar sacral area. Let's start. You want to breathe in, tilt your hip in, flat back on the floor. When I'm laying right here, my back gently arches. So I want to tilt in, breathe in, flat back. You want to do this for 2 sets of 10 times, just this pelvic tilt. And if there's no pain, you can actually continue on to the next step, which is the pelvic bridge. So engaging the tilt, breathe in, flat back. As you breathe out, 2 points of emphasis here. Number 1, you want to raise up and you want to squeeze your glutes here. Number 2, you want to push down through the heels. This engages the hamstrings. This engages your glutes as well as your back here, and you want to pull in the stomach here as you do so. So everything becomes rigid, right? Relax here, breathe in, tilt, flat back, breathe out, lift up, squeeze the butt here, as well as push down through the heels. Again, engaging your hamstring activation, your glute activation, lumbar, paraspinals, erector spinae, and basically pulling in the core. And do that for a duration of a breath out. So one more time, breathe in, breathe out. Good. And you want to do this for 3 sets of 10 repetitions. And if there's any pain at all during this motion, please consult your health professional. All right, so this exercise is called a T exercise. This is a great exercise to exercise the mid-scapular region or the mid area between the shoulder blades. Basically, because if you are constantly sitting in Deskbound posture and your shoulders are constantly rounded, this area gets too tight again and it gets overstretched and strained and it forces the head posture back. So in order to stabilize this, we need to be able to pull it back with exercise. So a great exercise is called a T exercise. It's one of many, but we're gonna go over this one today. So what you want to do is you want to keep your core tight, chin slightly tucked, breathe in, and as you breathe out, thumbs pointed outwards, and shoulder height, you want to pull back and you want to squeeze between the shoulder blades. Your elbows must be straight. If you find that they bend here, what you want to do is maintain that straightness up until it starts to bend, and you stay right there and you relax and breathe in, breathe out. But you want to try to maintain shoulder height, elbows straight. So from the back, breathe in and breathe out, squeeze the shoulder blades together, relax, breathe in. Thumbs pointed backwards, not like this, backwards, okay? In order to feel that contraction between the straps. Breathe in, breathe out. Good. And what you want to do is you want to repeat this exercise 3 sets of 10 repetitions, okay? And in between each set, you want to stretch out the muscles in between the trapezius. So you want to take your hands, breathe in. As you breathe out, round your back and just lean forward gently. Hold it for about 20 seconds, then relax, and then continue on with your sets. So do this consistently on a daily basis and you will get that roundness slowly straightened out, and your head will actually start to come back over your shoulders, which is better for your posture. The next exercise we're going to do is called the Supraspinatus exercise. And the Supraspinatus exercise is literally to strengthen the muscles on top of the shoulder blades here that are often overused when we're sitting desk bound or constantly clicking the mouse. This muscle gets overused when you're sitting in poor posture as well. So we want to work on these small muscles. It's not a large movement, it's actually a very small movement. And what you can do You can use, if you don't have light weights at home, 2-3 kg weights, you can use water bottles, because if the muscle's weak or strained, you will feel it. It doesn't matter, okay? As long as you have some resistance. So what you want to do is, if let's say we're working on the muscle itself, from this angle here, you want to come out 45 degrees. So again, from here, you want to come out 45, and then from this side here, from this angle here, 45 degrees, okay? So you want to do that both sides here. And the range of motion is quite small, from here to here. Any higher and you're actually using your deltoid muscle. We want to isolate this muscle more. So the range is actually small, only to shoulder height. Thumbs must be pointed upwards. Again, keep your core in, head neutral, breathe in and breathe out. And you want to do this for 3 sets of 10 repetitions, okay? Now, if you don't have weights and you have a Theraband, you can actually take this, okay? And remember, when using a Theraband, the lighter the color, the easier it is. The darker the color, the more resistance there is. So use that as a gauge for how much tension you want. So you can put this on the floor, step on it, take a staggered position, okay? And what you want to do is you want to raise up your arm to here, 45 degrees again, same thing. And what you want to do is just raise it up like so. Okay? 3 sets of 10 repetitions. Now, if this resistance is too hard, you will find that your body is contorting in order to raise it up. That's bad form. Keep the form in, breathe out. You must be able to hold this. Now, if you want, just get a little bit more slack so it makes it a little bit easier, you can raise it up a little bit better. So long as you feel the burning sensation through the small muscle here, that's all you're really aiming for. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to stretch out that muscle, because with the supraspinatus muscle, with any exercise, you need to stretch it out. So if let's say we're working on this side, we want to stretch this out, put this hand behind your back. Now you want to look down and turn about 60 degrees and put your hand over your head, and you want to pull in the direction that you are looking. So you want to sit up straight or stand tall, breathe in, breathe out, and gently pull. And you should feel a tension or a stretch along this muscle here. Now, if you find that it is not deep enough of a stretch and you would like a little bit more, okay, you can actually do this. You can take your hand behind your back, and what you could do is when you're in this position, you push this hand into your back here, which activates this muscle a little bit more. And when you're pulling it, it actually intensifies that stretch to a certain degree. But just make sure that it's not too intense for you. Just as long as you feel the stretch, that's the main purpose there. You want to hold that for 20 seconds. So in between these exercises that you're doing, 3 sets of 10, after each set of 10 repetitions, do that stretch for 20 seconds, both sides.